Lifestyle hacks to make more money and boost productivity. There are small things you can change in your life that can help you feel more accomplished. Maybe you want to have more free time. You want to save more money to prepare for an investment or an event like a wedding or a move. Whatever you want to achieve, you are either moving closer to or further away from your goals with what you do daily. There is a famous entrepreneur who says that we are what we do repeatedly. This means that we are defined by our habits, and our habits determine the results of our lives. If you repeatedly change what you do, you can change the results. So if you want to earn more, save more, improve your mind or your body, it all starts with changing your habits, or in other words, changing your lifestyle. In this video, I will list habits that you can adopt and lifestyle changes that you can implement today to earn more and, most importantly, feel more accomplished and achieve your most desired goals. These are things you can do right after finishing the video and do not require any investment. Of course, who wouldn't want to make more money and feel better about themselves? If you're hooked, take a second to click the like button now for that YouTube algorithm. You might also want to subscribe. We have some interesting content planned for the next few weeks, and I'm sure you won't want to miss it. If you like us, like money made right. Let's begin. 1. Minimalism. Minimalism is not what many people think. It's not about sleeping on the floor and not having any household items. It has nothing to do with throwing away everything you have in your house and eating on the floor. Minimalism is about eliminating the things that clutter your home and that you don't actually need. These items that you have kept for every eventuality, a case that never arrived, only take up space, cost money, and take time when you clean and organize your home. The reason I say you should adopt minimalism is that minimalism is not for everyone. You can reach any level that makes you feel comfortable. You might not want to get rid of items you are emotionally attached to. In any case, I strongly advise you to throw away items that you haven't used in the last 14 days and that are simply lying around the house. Minimalism is also about not buying unnecessary items. It's about buying only things you really need. So you should stop falling for all those savings opportunities and promotional offers that are nothing more than marketing strategies to sell you things. After you get used to it, you will find that first of all, you will save money on things you don't use. Moreover, this will save you time and intellectual capacity. You will have clarity and feel more rested in your home. And if you can think clearly and if you have more free time, you can use it to make even more money. 2. Stop worrying about what others think. Why is this important? Because many of us don't do many things for ourselves. In reality, we do them for others. For example, if you buy an expensive watch, you shouldn't do it to impress others. You should do it because it truly makes you feel better, or you can treat expensive items like watches as trophies when you earn a certain amount of money that you can buy, because if you stop worrying about what others say about you, you will save a lot of money on things that you don't actually care about. You will realize that you can be happy even without expensive items as long as you don't truly desire them. So you should start practicing being indifferent when it comes to what people say about you. How to understand that they don't care about you. Imagine you are on the street and you are coming home from work and you are all tired. At some point, you trip and fall. Everyone looks at you, and you feel embarrassed. You get up and go home with your head down. You think about it all night and think about it at work the next day. Basically, you let this small experience ruin 2 days of your life, and some of you probably identify with this because this is what happens to many. Well, as if the mere thought that a single experience can ruin a couple of days isn't enough to make you indifferent, here's a fact. You might think about it for hours and hours to come, but all the people around you who saw you fall have already forgotten about it. Even if they laughed at you, they did it for about 30 seconds and then moved on with their lives. They forgot about you as if you never existed. Meanwhile, you are still thinking about it as if it could change something. And it's the same when you are trying to impress others. Let's pretend you own a Ferrari. If you buy it for yourself, good for you, but if you buy it to impress others, you will be very disappointed. Everyone will compliment you for like 10 seconds and then they will have already forgotten about you. With all this in mind, you will continue to live your life differently just to please others. They will laugh, be impressed, or offend you for a couple of minutes, while you will be the one who has to live with the consequences of your actions for the rest of your existence. 3. Impulse spending is a big problem in America today, as it is everywhere in the world. Wherever you go, you are bombarded with special offers. If you limit yourself to only predictable and planned expenses, you will stop making impulse purchases, which currently make up a large percentage of your income. To plan your expenses, you need to consider everything. How often do you go grocery shopping? Maybe you do it 4 or 5 times a week. You should reduce it to 1 or 2 times. Obviously, fresh products like fruits and vegetables are an exception. Other expenses are rent, TV bills, and so on. I also advise you to leave a small percentage of your income to spend on whatever you want. This way, you also have some spending freedom that will help you keep everything under control. I advise you to do this week by week or month by month. In addition, at the end of each month, you should review your spending habits to see if you have actually followed your plans or not. You shouldn't plan to spend 100% of your income. You should always leave a small percentage for savings. So you could spend 80% of your income and save 20%. If you don't leave extra money, there's no point in doing all this. The goal is to save money and accumulate it for future investments. Save for 2 reasons. The coronavirus has taught us a lot. We can't always trust politicians when they make decisions for us. Companies have to compete in the online world regardless of where they are. Statistics are easily manipulated. One of the things it has taught us is that money is king. You need extra money in case something happens like a global pandemic. Even if jobs are no longer as secure, you could be laid off for economic reasons at any time. If you are an entrepreneur, you never know when your business needs extra money to close the quarter without failing. So the first reason to save money is to prepare for an emergency situation. The second reason is to invest. Saving to invest is very common, and you need it if you actually want to increase your income, not just spend less. The goal is to make more money so that you can actually spend more. So obviously, growth is necessary. Investing literally means putting your money to work. This is the concept of paying yourself first. If you are curious, you can check it out in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. 4. Get out of your comfort zone every day. You've heard this phrase thousands of times. Get out of your comfort zone. Making more money requires getting out of your comfort zone. The famous entrepreneur and mentor Dan Pena says that a turtle can only move forward when it sticks its head and legs out, when it is most vulnerable. This means that the only way to move forward is to take risks and do things that make you uncomfortable. To get used to the feeling, you should do something that scares you every day. Imagine doing this even just once a month. It will change your life. Or start talking about money. If your friends don't want to talk about it, maybe it's time to find new friends. If you never talk about money, you can't expect to make more of it. Most people have a negative association with money, as if it were evil or something like that. If you grew up hearing things like, money is the root of all evil, and rich people are greedy, you need to change your mindset. You can't expect to become rich if this is what's going through your head. Talk about how you want to multiply your money. Get advice from people with more experience and start hanging out with people you admire. Stop trying to spend less. Think about earning more. This is a very important change in mindset. You might think this contradicts what I said earlier about not spending money on unnecessary things and keeping track of your expenses, but it doesn't. I'm not saying to go out and spend everything you have on things you don't really need or that you at least don't want. I'm just saying that you should start focusing on how you can increase your income instead of constantly trying to find ways to save a few cents here and there. I've seen so many blogs that say to become rich, you have to start not buying a coffee a day. What do you really have to do to become rich? Do I have to stop spending a couple of dollars on coffee? I don't think so. 5. Set financial goals. If you don't have goals, you can't achieve anything. To feel accomplished, you have to achieve something. There's nothing more exciting than the feeling of seeing your work generate results. To set appropriate goals, use this checklist. Your goals must have numbers, for example, earning $5,000 next month. Have deadlines. Be realistic. Have a strategy for achievement. Be broken down into smaller goals, milestones, or tasks. We are interested in discovering your personal experience on the topic. Write it in the comments and feel free to ask any questions. We will be happy to interact. Feel free to leave a comment so that we can improve the content. Your like would be the cherry on top, and click subscribe to stay informed about upcoming publications.